I am Sananda. Wonderful as always to be here with you where we can share and have this experience. For this is a way that, one of the ways I would say, that we are reaching out to many of you. Many of you, we are reaching out to help you to continue on with your missions, what you came here to do. We are here to assist you in any way that we can. And this is one way that we are reaching out, one way we are making our efforts known to you and to help to assist you. Of course, there are many other ways that we are reaching the masses. We are doing this through your various media, your movies, your books, all of these different things. We are reaching, our message is coming to you. And that message, of course, is to awaken. It is time to awaken to who you are. It is time to awaken to the experience that you came here for. Everything that you came here to do, you are now in the process of doing that. This is the culmination of what you're here for. You are moving closer and closer to those times, to those moments where everything begins to shift even more than it has already shifted. Many of you speak now of the shift that is happening, and you feel the energies and you feel the expression within you changing, the vibrational expression within you changing. You feel that. But I tell you, and many of us have been telling you, that this is nothing compared to what is coming, to what you are going to experience, to the full totality of all that is going to be. Because as this shift continues to move, as this transition continues to move forward, you are moving forward with it. You are having those experiences, those sharing of experiences with those of your neighbors, those of your friends, your family, wherever you get the opportunity, you are having the experience of being able to share this, to be able to share not only your knowledge, but your understanding, your vibration, which is even the most important thing. Knowledge is good, yes, but vibration is even more important. Share your vibration. Now, how do you do that, you might say? You share your vibration by being that vibration, by being that light, being that love expression wherever you go, wherever you find yourself, a simple smile, a hug when it is possible, a handshake, whatever it might be. And even just the smile and the vibration exchanging between one and another is simply amazing when you allow it to be. When you allow yourself to step out of your comfort zone wherever you can and share and be that expression of light, be that expression of love, be the light warrior that you have come to be. And that many of you are falling into that mode now, no longer as just simply one standing by and letting the world revolve around you, but yet you are making the world revolve now. There's a big difference because you are that change that you want to see in the world. You already are. There are many different ways of sharing, many different ways of expressing your love, the light to all out there. But even just being the love and the light is sharing to all the world, to all of the planet. So I tell you now, my brothers, my sisters, my dear friends, I tell you to open yourselves up to who you are. Share that light wherever you have the opportunity, because as you share that light is then being shared out to many more and many more and many more. It is a geometric progression. Even it doesn't take the being on a radio broadcast or being in an email broadcast or whatever it is. It doesn't take that. It simply needs the thought, the process, the knowing that you are sharing your love, your light, your expression with all that you can out there. That is my message for you. There is so much coming in the near future here. We are getting excited ourselves. Many of us are excited here on the New Jerusalem. Many are excited in all of the many ships. Many of the systems out there are becoming excited as they continue to watch this process. And you are the ones right there in the middle of everything. You are the ones that will be spoken of for thousands and thousands of millennia to come. For you are the ones that created this shift. I am Sananda. All of my peace and love be with all of you. Om Mani Padme Om. Greetings to you. Back here with you. Ready to move along with the program here. And a program it is, yes. We are continuing this programming, this process to continue to assist you in assisting us, because it is a whole process of working together. It is we rub your back, you rub our back, okay? And we are so enjoying and loving working with you in this way, and so much even more looking forward to working more directly with you. And all of us, all of the mentoring to you, we will be there with you and you with us as we move closer and closer to this ascension process that you are all in, that we are all in. Because again, as we have said before, as you are ascending, so are we. Isn't that wonderful?
Yes.
We can all help each other here. You have questions here for One Who Serves.
Yeah, this is Lorelei. Oh, you want to go first?
Okay. Hi, and thank you for being with us. This is Yvette. I have wanted to ask about the holographic universe, if you can explain that more.
We cannot understand that. There was some connection there, interference. Please ask again.
The holographic universe, if you can explain that more, that we're in a hologram. It seems, my first vision, it's a computer screen, Star Trek, whatever, but can you really describe it for us, what it is? Is it vibrational? I would like to put my understanding on it more.
Yes, to understand that you are in a hologram or an illusionary process, as we have been saying for some time, it is very difficult for the three-dimensional mind to begin to grasp this. But think of it in terms of what is your Star Wars, when the picture, or the hologram rather, of Obi-Wan Kenobi showed here.
Okay.
Do you remember this? Many of you, do you remember this?
Yes.
And this hologram showed up. It was a technological advancement at that time as it was being shown in this movie. But it was showing you that there is this ability to have these holograms like this. Now, this is just a very, very tiny, minuscule portion of what is possible here. But this hologram has been created here on the earth here by the cabal, by those who would keep you entrenched or imprisoned in the illusion that they have created here. And you think it is solid matter. You think it is real and all of this because they have made it to be that way. This is very advanced technology that has been used here. Now, you can take this further out to the solar system, to the galaxy, and yes, even the universe, that the entire universe is a hologram. It is real to a point, but not real in totality. You see, but again, this is very difficult to explain for you to understand, because you must understand what is consciousness. You must understand the full totality of what consciousness is and vibration. And as you come more and more into these higher vibrations, these higher understandings, you begin to understand more and more how the higher vibrations lead you into the higher dimensions. And as you move into the higher dimensions, you move continually into higher and higher vibrations. And this continues to move you up and up and up in terms of higher vibrations and higher dimensional states. So you are constantly in this hologram at this time, but you are moving past this veil that has been created here to keep you in that hologram. As you pierce through the veil, as the veil is dropped, the hologram that they have created for you is gone. So the illusion then is gone. But you are still ensconced within the universal hologram that has been put there by, guess who? Prime Creator, Source, you see?
Yes.
Now, there is not an imprisonment there. It is certainly a free will zone that you are in, that we are all in. And this is the universal hologram that you are speaking of. Did this have any sense, make any sense to you at all?
Yes, it does. And I'm grasping that it's like manifestation. So as our frequencies raise, we manifest, and that is a form of a holographic experience.
Yes. As you are raising your vibration, as you are having your experiences, Prime Creator is having more and more experiences as well. Prime Creator is growing just as we all are, if you can begin to understand that.
Yes.
And there is no end. Prime Creator will never cease to exist, just as you will never cease to exist, unless you choose to.
Thank you. Thank you very much. That's beautiful.
Yes. Would anyone like to have a follow-up question to that?
well, it's not a follow-up, but I did want to ask you, so many of us are going to come into what I would call or term a sacred trust very shortly when this RV does happen. And it will be, as I understand it, for the purpose of elevating people's living situation on the planet so that they can then, at some point, they can come along with an elevated frequency and so on like that. So my question is, so there's a lot of conversation out there about, emergency readiness, like you would need to have maybe food supplies in case of financial crashing, or in case there's martial law enacted in the cities, there should be maybe refugee camps where people can come to and escape from that. So that's all the cabal stuff. So I guess my question is, does this need to be done? Because I know also part of the game is to keep your focus and your thoughts in the higher realms, or how much does this need to be done, and how do we keep our focus in the higher realms while also being aware of and addressing that with this sacred trust?
Yes. Are you aware of the term fear porn?
Fear porn?
Porn. Porn. Have you heard that term before?
Porn? Oh, no. Haven't heard that one.
Why we are bringing this up is it is all about that for the cabal, for the program that they have created here. Again, the illusion. It is all about creating fear wherever possible. And to begin to understand all that is happening here, you have to begin to move out of the 3D illusion and not be a part of it anymore. You can be in it, but not of it, you see? And that is where you all need to move toward, is the idea that you are no longer a part of this illusion, whether it be through medical science in terms of the pharmacology, which we had James speak of earlier, and all of these types of things that are holding you down. You see, when you take these various medications from the pharmaceutical companies and all of this, you are continuing to not only keep the system going here, but you are keeping yourself in lower vibration. all of these drugs lower your vibration. And all of these types of thinking in terms of the world is coming to an end, or you need to put away years and years of supplies and all of these things to be able to survive. But this is not a survival transition. This is a transition into higher vibrations. But it is not a transition of moving through various levels of fear. And that is what these, what you call the preppers and all of this are attempting to do, to keep you in fear. Now, many of those that participate in this are not doing it for that idea or that concept. They are doing it because they think they need to, because they are in that programming that has been created. And they think that the electric grid is going to go down and all of these things, and they will have to learn to survive on their own and all of this. And we can tell you that we have not been training people to be able to survive. Training you to be able to share the light and the love wherever it is possible to do that, not to simply survive. We have been training you to be in the now, to be in that moment and enjoy in the now at all times as much as you can, to see the beauty all around you, not the ugliness. But if you see the ugliness, if you constantly focus on that, you continue to stay in the same old programming and you do not move out of it then. So more and more and more, begin to find yourself in those higher vibrations, out of the 3D illusion. Do not become concerned about major pandemics or third world wars or any of these things, because they are not going to happen. Now, with all of that said, that is not to say that there might not be a short disruption of your social system as you know it now, because that social system as you know it now must come apart. It must break down. It must shift. And if it takes a little bit of consternation moving through this shift, then so be it. But it is not going to be anything that you have to focus in terms of being in fear to make it through, okay? Do you understand this?
Well, yeah, and I'm just making sure that, so there's no necessity for us to, like, in a humanitarian way, have any readiness for people who maybe aren't where we are, and we've got the supplies to do it, like, because, you know, there's no necessity for that at all?
That is not what we are saying. We are saying that it's possible there will be a little short disruption. And for you to have supplies and things like this would not be harmful to you. But do not focus on that. Do not focus on digging a big hole in your backyard and creating a shelter of some type. Do not need this type of thing. To know a little bit about how to survive in the wilderness would not be harmful, but it is not necessary either. Because if any of this type of situation were to come, do you not think that you have a great deal of help already?
Mm-hmm.
You see?
Yeah.
Call upon your angels. Call upon your guardians, your guides, all of this. And your mentors as they are introduced to you, certainly. But you see, all of this is likely not going to be a concern, because once the Nasara, once the galactics have appeared here, all of these things are going to shift very dramatically at that point. And to have what you would call a couple of weeks or a little bit longer maybe of certain supplies would not be something that would be detrimental to you.
Okay, great. Thank you. Thank you so much.
Yes. Other questions here?
Yes, this is Jody. It occurs to me as I've been fairly woozy in the last 2 weeks, it reminds me of a couple of instances in my teenage years where I lost feeling in one side of my body and I couldn't remember what the white stuff was that fell out of the sky, that sort of thing. And I was wondering if the doctors were mystified at the time. Were those ascension systems or symptoms of some sort of encodement that I was receiving at that time?
They were, yes. And you are continuing to receive these, just as many of you, if not all of you, in various ways are receiving these downloads, these understandings and expressions coming to you from many different levels of your experience as far as where you come from. And many of you are experiencing these shifts and changes within you as you continue to experience these ascension symptoms, as we are calling them. And they are nothing more than that if you believe that. If you believe, though, in the programming, if you believe that they are levels of sickness and disease and all of this, then this is what they become, you see. So believe and you will see. We continue to say this. And this is what you must come to understand. This is what you must let go of the old paradigm of sickness, disease, ill health, aches and pains, and all of this as just being part of the programming that you are coming out of. And if you are coming out of this programming, then you are going to then move into the higher vibrations where there is no sickness, disease, aches and pains, etc. So it is just simply a process of your transition now.
Thank you. Namaste, Mushaba.
Yes. Anything further here?
This is Scott. I have a question.
Yes.
You had mentioned in the past that many of your ships are essentially parked in the atmosphere, sort of waiting for the signal to go ahead and things like that. So I had a vision in one of my dreams last year that was one of the most vivid visions I've ever had in my dream. It was crystal clear, and I was in a house, and I saw a ship literally come right up to my window, right up to it. It paused, it sat there for a little bit, and then it was gone. And I have thought about that vision almost every single day, and I'm wondering if you could shed any light on that for me. Was that in another dimension? Who was visiting me, or what exactly was that I saw in my vision?
You were being checked up on, you might say, by those who know you very well. And they just came down to peep in a little bit and say hi, even though you were not fully aware as to who they were or anything of this nature. But they were real, and they were just keeping track of you, keeping tabs on you, as the saying goes.
Okay.
As to where they come from, we cannot give that at this time. You will come to understand that when the moment comes for you.
Okay. Thank you.
Other questions here?
This is Norma sitting in group, and I'd like to ask something about timelines. And this refers to Tom Timor, who's written the Gentle Way book, and he talks about timelines, and he said we're on timeline 6, and that timeline 7 and 8 have already had the ETs arrive, and it went very, very well, and they were very happy. And in a couple of weeks, timeline 6, where we are, will have that. Is that true?
Whenever you hear things of this nature, you need to, what it is called, take with a grain of salt here. Because there is truth, very much truth to these types of things, and as to timelines and all of this. And as your consciousness is shifting, you are coming to understand this idea of timelines. Before this, your understanding of timelines was Back to the Future. You see? This was the first real movie that came out to the masses that began to share this expression and this understanding of being in various timelines and being able to move through those timelines. But you are not needing to go back in time here. You are needing to be in the moment that you are in the timeline that you find yourself, and realize that the timelines are coming together in many ways, going to very much split apart, as has been given by Archangel Michael when he shared this some time ago here, that the timelines are going to split between the 3-dimension and 4th and 5th dimensional timelines here. And eventually there will be 2 timelines. Not yet, but it is moving toward that. And when that occurs, all of those rather, not just you, but all will then determine which timeline they want to be on. It is almost that simple. As to whether there will be in the very near future, what has been suggested, that one will be there and the next moment a wife or a husband or something of this nature will be taken from them. No, it is not going to be that way. What kind of a loving creator would create such consternation such as this, where they would shatter a relationship in that way? That will not happen. But it will come to a point at some time where consciousness itself will make this shift so that it will be a natural changeover here. You see?
Yeah.
This is why we like to call this not just the event, but the changeover. You see?
But also, he kind of poo-poos Nassara on that. Would it be appropriate, you can ask questions, they ask them in the newsletter, would it be appropriate to revisit Nassara? That it really does exist, it is something real and it's happening?
We can tell you that Nassara is very much real. It is not a figment of our imagination. It is not a figment of Saint Germain's imagination, and it is not a figment of your imagination. It is very much real, but it has been imagined into being real, you see? So it is something that is there. It is ready to come forward. It has been ready for some time. It just needs the impetus or the final push, you might say, to bring about the announcement that brings it forward. And this is coming very shortly here. And it is going to be a major shift that is going to occur at that time. It is going to be along with the event or the changeover as this occurs.
Thank you.
Yes.
I have a question.
Yes.
Okay. So, if I can say this in a way that's understandable. Okay, so we hear a lot believing a thing, and I agree with that. And we just heard about time, which I don't believe in because time is an illusion. There is no such thing as time. Time is created. It's not. So the way that I see it is a timeline equates to a stream of consciousness. So if you pair believing a thing with a stream of consciousness, those that believe in a particular set of events or a particular situation or catastrophe or limitation, etc., will live that particular stream of consciousness. And those that believe in something else and learn to believe in abundance and perfection, etc., will live that stream of consciousness. That's how I see this. Would you comment on that?
Yes, we would directly agree with you. You are using a different terminology in terms of stream of consciousness, which we certainly like even more. But we have used the term timelines because that is your terminology here. And we have continued to work within that. But as to understand the idea of timelines and streams of consciousness, they are one and the same. And if you have a certain level of consciousness, a stream of consciousness, as you are saying, you are creating that particular timeline that you are going to be on, that experience that you are going to have. You see?
Yes, and if we really understand that, then there would be no food shortages. Those kinds of things we create.
Yes, very much so. Now, if all of the collective consciousness knew this and understood this, then there would certainly be no other timeline to even discuss here or other stream of consciousness. But because of the collective consciousness being quite understanding where we are speaking here, then this is necessary to move through this transition. Otherwise, you would have no need to even go through a transition here. You would simply be here and then there. You see?
Yeah, thank you.
Any
So
further
you're
questions?
saying that consciousness is really our belief system. What we believe is or was or will happen. Is that true?
Yes, what you believe creates your consciousness, and your consciousness then creates your belief system.
Amen. Amen to that.
Yes.
But for example, the Nasara movement or the Saint Germain Trust, that's an idea and a concept and a reality for a group of people or one individual or several individuals, and that if we make a choice to integrate with that idea and become part of that idea, then we get to experience that. If we choose something else, we are not going to integrate into that idea. That's why when people say it's Nasara true, is it false, it doesn't matter. It matters what you think.
Yes, that is correct. You yourselves, each one of you, could utilize all of these techniques, all of these understandings that we have been giving and you have been receiving for so long here. We're speaking of lifetimes now. And you could take all of this and be in that higher vibration, be in the fifth dimension, and none of this would even matter. You would not even need to go through this transition. But the transition is for the masses, people. This is what it is for. It is for those who are not aware, are not awakened yet, as you are at this point. You see? But there has to be a transition for the masses to be able to have this experience, this ascension process experience.
And there has to be like an avant-garde in the front leading the charge.
Yes, and there you are, all of you. That's what you are. You are the vanguard. You are the ones that are leading from the front.
So the more we focus on it, and the more we keep our minds on it, our thinking on it, it will happen that sooner.
That is correct. You want the event, create the event.
And that has to do with the collective thought process, because there's so many out there that aren't collectively thinking in that way, that as we strengthen our thought process, we influence others.
Yes, that is correct. Now, we want to share this with you. We have shared this before, but it is a good time again to bring this to you. You look at the consciousness shift as being rather slow. It is not happening very fast for you, or not as fast as you want. Our soon is not the soon that you are wanting here. But from our point of view, and certainly the Galactic's point of view, as they look down from their ships and their perches that they are on, they are seeing things from an entirely different understanding. They are using their technology, you might say, to look at the entire planet. They can see consciousness across the planet, and they can see all the lights that are coming on, which indicates awakening. And they're seeing this happen more and more and more. And we have used this example from the James's memory process here in terms of your X-Files movie. And the professor and how he went into the apparatus that he entered. And he see all of the lights of what were the mutants in that movie, but think of those mutants as all of those that are awakened and awakening.
That was X-Men.
And you can X-Men. Yes, sorry, we had to interrupt here for a moment. Yes, X-Men. And to experience this understanding and this process as is happening from the higher levels, they and we can see all of this occurring. And it is happening at a very fast and furious rate here.
Well, I noticed that they're using the word close because they know we don't like the word soon anymore. So I get a big kick out of the words that they change. Around the bend, now they say close. So, boy, that makes me happier.
Yes, close, soon, imminent, all of these words. What meaning do they have, though, anymore, you see?
No.
None of this has any meaning. Yes, the only thing that has meaning is now.
Right.
Yes, now. It is all happening now.
Right.
And if you believe that, it will happen even more so in the now.
Yep. Thank you.
Yes. Anything further now? We must release channel here.
Yeah, one more quick question. Regarding this, the ascension of us, each of us, are we talking about everybody will all sort of go at the same time, or will it be like popcorn popping, one pops, then another, then another, then another, like that?
That is a wonderful analogy, and yes, we would agree with that analogy. More so, as each one is ready, they will experience their own ascension, and it'll be levels of ascension as you are moving through. And then 1 minute you will be going back and forth, which you are already doing, incidentally. And but at some point you will move forward and into those higher vibrations and have no need to return back. As a matter of fact, there will come a time where there will be nothing to return back to.
As each popcorn pops, the entire bag bulges.
Yes. Yes. Very much so. We need to.
Microwave popcorn is really bad for you.
Yes, that is correct. What was just said here. Anything that is processed is not the thing that you want to do. As much and more as possible, move away from all processed foods, all pharmaceutical drugs, everything that is not natural. Stay within the natural. Stay within what Mother Nature has provided here. That is the key. If Mother Nature, if Gaia has provided it, it is good for you. Now, certainly there are certain plants that can be considered poisonous and these types of things. Yes, that is true. But if you take those plants that are poisonous and put them together with other types of plants, they have other remedial benefits that can be brought about in this way. So there is everything that is necessary for the mass consciousness here to survive on what is just here alone. And understand, though, that as you move into the higher vibrations, all of this will be what you call a mute point anyway, because it will no longer be necessary. As you are moving into the higher vibrations, you will survive, or not even like using that word, you will subsist on more and more of simply light. We need to release channel here now. Shanti, peace be with you. Be the one.
Thank you.